If you have a driver's license in the United States, or if you're currently learning how to drive, stop everything you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you in the next few minutes could save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars. Starting April 15th, 2026, the United States is enforcing a wave of updated driving rules across multiple states, and millions of drivers, especially beginners, have absolutely no idea these changes are already live. One wrong turn, one missed sign, one small mistake on the road, and you could be looking at a fine so heavy it shocks you. Are you really ready? Stay with me, because this one video could change everything for you behind the wheel. Welcome back, everyone. If you are new here, this channel is your #1 source for everything related to driving in the USA, from license tips and road rules to the latest legal updates that affect every single driver on American roads. I am so glad you found this video today, because this is genuinely one of the most important driving updates of 2026, and yet most people will scroll past it without a second thought until they get pulled over and handed a citation they never saw coming. Today, we are going to break down every major update you need to know about, why these changes are happening, and exactly how you can protect yourself, your license, and your wallet starting right now. Let us start with the big picture. Why is any of this happening? Over the past few years, traffic fatalities in the United States have been rising at an alarming rate. According to federal transportation data, distracted driving, speeding in residential zones, and failure to yield to pedestrians have all seen dramatic increases since 2020. In response to this, both federal transportation authorities and individual state governments have rolled out updated traffic enforcement guidelines designed to be far more aggressive, far more consistent, and far more costly for violators. April 15th, 2026 marks the official date when many of these updated guidelines move from the warning phase into full enforcement phase. That means law enforcement officers who were previously issuing warnings are now required to issue fines. No more second chances, no more grace periods. The clock has already started. Now let us talk about what has actually changed, because this is the part that matters most to you. The first and most talked about update involves handheld mobile device laws. Using your phone while driving has been illegal in most states for years, but the definitions and penalties have just been significantly expanded. Previously, many states focused only on texting and calling. Now, under the 2026 updates, simply having your phone in your hand while the vehicle is in motion, even if you are not actively typing or calling, is a primary offense in over 30 states. That means officers do not need any other reason to pull you over. The fine for a first offense in states like California, New York, and Virginia now starts at $250 and can climb all the way to $500 plus court fees. For drivers under 18 or drivers with a learner's permit, the penalties are even steeper, and repeat offenses within 18 months can result in automatic license suspension. If you are a beginner driver, listen very carefully here. This one rule alone can end your driving privilege before it truly begins. The second major update that is catching thousands of drivers off guard is the new speed enforcement protocol in school zones and residential areas. Many cities and counties across the United States have now authorized the use of automated speed cameras in school zones, and those cameras are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not just during school hours. This is a critical point that most people miss. You can drive past a school zone at midnight on a Saturday and still receive a citation in the mail if your speed exceeded the posted limit. Fines in school zones now start at $150 for the first offense and double for any subsequent violation within the same calendar year. Some states, including Texas, Florida, and Illinois, have also added surcharges specifically targeting repeat school zone violators, meaning your insurance company will be notified as well. Third, let us talk about right-of-way violations, because this is the #1 area where new and inexperienced drivers are getting hit the hardest under the 2026 enforcement wave. Failure to yield at crosswalks, particularly at unmarked crosswalks in intersections, has become one of the most actively ticketed violations in urban areas across the country. An unmarked crosswalk is any intersection where sidewalks meet, even if there are no painted lines on the road. Pedestrians legally have the right of way in these areas under federal pedestrian safety guidelines, and if a pedestrian is struck or even forced to stop while crossing, the driver can face fines ranging from $300 all the way to $1,000 depending on the state, in addition to potential civil liability. For new drivers who are still learning the rules of the road, this is a silent trap that is incredibly easy to fall into. Fourth, and this one is particularly important for immigrant communities and international license holders, there are new ID and license verification rules taking effect across multiple states. Beginning April 15th, driving with an expired license, a foreign license in a state that requires conversion, or a license from a state where your driving privileges have been revoked even if they are valid elsewhere, now carries mandatory minimum fines and in some cases, immediate vehicle impoundment. This is affecting thousands of international students, new immigrants, and seasonal workers who assumed their home country license or an out-of-state license would cover them without question. If you are in this category, please check your specific state's DMV website immediately because the rules vary and the consequences are no longer minor. Fifth, let us cover the updated DUI and impaired driving enforcement. This may not be new in concept, but the enforcement tools have been modernized significantly. Many law enforcement agencies across the country have now deployed roadside drug testing kits that can detect impairment from cannabis and prescription medications, not just alcohol. With cannabis being legal in many states, a massive number of drivers incorrectly assume that legal use means safe to drive. It absolutely does not. Driving under the influence of any substance that impairs your ability to operate a vehicle safely is a criminal offense everywhere in the United States, and the 2026 updates have introduced mandatory minimum sentencing guidelines for first-time DUI offenders in several states that previously had judges' discretion. This means even a first offense can now carry automatic license suspension of 90 days, mandatory DUI education courses, and fines exceeding $1,000 before court costs. Now, a very important section specifically for beginners, learners, and those still in the probationary license phase. If you have had your license for less than 2 years, or if you are on a graduated driver's license program, you are operating under a completely different and stricter set of rules, and the 2026 updates have tightened those rules even further. The passenger restriction rule is now more strictly enforced, meaning if you're under 18 and driving with more passengers than your graduated license allows, law enforcement officers are now required to issue a citation regardless of circumstances, no exceptions. Night driving restrictions have also been tightened in states including California, New Jersey, and Georgia, with the restricted driving hours now extending until 11 p.m. instead of midnight. Any violation of your graduated license conditions during this new enforcement period can result in your probationary period being reset entirely, meaning you start your clock over from zero. So what should you do right now to protect yourself? The answer is straightforward. First, visit your state's official DMV website today, not tomorrow today, and read the current traffic laws for your state. Second, if you use your phone for GPS navigation, invest in a proper phone mount so the device is fixed, hands-free, and out of your hand at all times. Third, study the crosswalk and pedestrian right-of-way laws in your city specifically, because local ordinances can be even stricter than state law. Fourth, if you are an international license holder or a new immigrant, call your local DMV directly and ask about your specific license conversion requirements. Fifth, and perhaps most importantly, talk to any new or young drivers in your household and share this information with them because the people who are most at risk under these new rules are often the ones who are least aware they exist. Here is the reality of all of this. These rule changes are not designed to trap you, they are designed to save lives. Every year, tens of thousands of people die on American roads, and an enormous percentage of those deaths are preventable. The updated fines and enforcement protocols exist because warnings alone were not changing behavior. By making the consequences more immediate and more serious, transportation authorities are betting that drivers will finally take these rules seriously. And you know what? They are right. The best drivers on the road are not the most confident ones. They are the most informed ones. And that is exactly why you are here. You watched this entire video. You took the time to stay informed. That already puts you ahead of the majority of drivers on the road today. Do not let all of that go to waste. Go check your state's specific rules, share this video with someone you know who drives, and drop a comment below telling me which of these updates surprised you the most. I read every single comment on this channel. If you want more videos like this one covering everything from road test tips to the latest driving law changes across all 50 states, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drive smart, drive safe, and I will see you in the very next video.